waking up and just watching the ball kind of disappear at first slip, and Jimmy Adams or someone like that sort of scooping it up.
Same way, except a good one.
Oh, he's hit that in the air. It's going to go just over the top. Didn't quite middle, but just enough in it. Oh, it's on.
He goes for it, gets it a long way. It goes right back into the stand, into Edwin Smith's stand. Wow, he's going to break the shackles. That's the way to do it. That was the plan.
Some batsmen were feared more for their presence and intent than their skill set in general, and Matthew Hayden belonged to that crop of players. This is not to suggest that he didn't have the skills. He had them aplenty. But when we talk about Haydos, the first image that runs through our mind is flashbacks of him charging towards the fast bowlers without any respect whatsoever.
Oh, well, down the ground he goes. He's hit that like an absolute rocket. He's got this ability, he just wanders at the bowl.
Cementing his name in Australian cricket history as a pure match winner, Hayden became one of the pillars of Australia's golden era, despite everybody writing him off initially. How did this icon rise to the top? And beyond words, how good was he? With the uncountable number of cricket talents born and raised in Queensland, Australia, the chances of making a reputable career in the sport are next to zero. Those who make it to the big leagues need more than exceptional talents. And even though Matthew Hayden did not immediately strike people as extraordinary, he had something that no other youngster had: a signature personality. Just a week before turning 22, Hayden got called to take the crease at the iconic Gabba for his home state in the 1993 to 1994 Sheffield Shield season.
Very, very nicely. Oh boy, that's gone a long way.
Even though he did not get enough playtime, he still made a mark, and it was no surprise that he got called up for the Australian side for the 1994 tour in England alongside Michael Slater, another rookie who had a stellar season. However, Slater was on another level, outperforming Hayden, earning him the opening position. Being left to the side, uncertain if you will ever get a chance to represent, was indeed challenging. But unlike many entitled young stars, Hayden did not let it get to his head. Instead, he saw it as a challenge and decided to become the monster that nobody was willing to become. The raw personality that coaches had seen in him began to take form, and slowly, Hayden's fierce and competitive character began to show. The Queenslander finally got a chance to prove himself in the 1994 South African Test match thanks to vice-captain Mark Taylor's injury. Sadly, Hayden's debut did not go as planned. After that game, the next time he was selected for the Test team was in the 1996 to 1997 season, where he performed badly too. Featuring in 3 matches against the West Indies and South Africa, the Test started well for him as he scored his first century against the West Indies in Adelaide, but then he would average 24.1 over the 6 matches, with 4 ducks. For a moment, many believed he had finally earned a spot on the team. Still, with his poor general performance, Hayden was dropped, with selectors favoring other openers like Taylor, Matthew Elliott, Slater, and Greg Blewett. At the time, some compared him to Graham Hick, a talented domestic player who struggled at the international level. Despite this, he continued to dominate in domestic cricket, consistently scoring runs for Queensland. Later that year, while Australia toured England without him, Matthew Hayden joined Hampshire and had an outstanding season.
That's gone all the way. He's strong and he's powerful. Superb timer of the ball.
His summer with Hampshire was nothing short of spectacular, with him dominating the batting charts, averaging close to 55 per inning in first-class cricket. Hayden also impacted the AXA Life League, where he amassed 654 runs at an average of 43.6 and 326 in 2 knockout competitions. By the end of May, he had scored 235 and 119 in the exact match against Warwickshire, setting a new record for the highest match aggregate by any Hampshire player. That wasn't the end of it. On the following Sunday, Hayden hit another century, and his heroics continued into June, where in a match against Derbyshire at Chesterfield, his unbeaten 136 on the 4th day secured a stunning victory for Hampshire. they chased down a massive target of 310 in just 56 overs, despite Derbyshire posting 523 runs in the first 2 days. His persistence paid off, earning him a spot back in the Australian side for the 1999-2000 New Zealand Tour and the 2000-01 series against the West Indies. Although his comeback wasn't extraordinary initially, the 2001 India Tour was the breakthrough series he had been waiting for. Even though the Indian team, which was stacked with players like VVS Laxman, Rahul Dravid, and the young Harbhajan Singh, won, Hayden was the star player of the series. He scored a remarkable 549 runs in just 3 tests, an Australian record for a series, with an average of 109.80. Before the 2001 India Tour, he had only averaged 24.36 from 13 tests, with 1 century. His dominance was so impressive that he earned a recall to the ODI team during the same tour. Until that point, Hayden had been seen mainly as a test player. Still, this series proved his versatility, cementing his place as one of Australia's most powerful weapons at the top of the order.
I mean, that was just custom made for the Australian public. The natural desire for the Australian public just to rally behind the underdogs, being Australia, eh?
While he was occasionally exposed by the moving ball, especially from bowlers coming around the wicket, his framework game was sound. Being an aggressive top-order batsman, Hayden made it possible for Australia to have quick starts frequently, which helped set the tone for dominance. Teaming up with Adam Gilchrist and Justin Langer at the ODI and Test level, respectively, also created a fearsome opening partnership. Hayden was in the form of his life, but his best performance was yet to come. In September 2003, at the Waka in Perth, a first test against Zimbabwe witnessed cricket history with Matthew Hayden's phenomenal feat. Hayden thrashed 380 runs off only 437 balls, thus setting a new world record for the highest individual test score previously held by Brian Lara, who had scored 375 in the 1994 season. Hayden's authoritative innings remained the world record until April 2004, when Lara again reached the pinnacle by scoring 400 not out. Until June 2024, Hayden's 380 is still the second highest score in Test cricket history, and the first by an Australian. 3 years after the fairy tale 2003 season, Hayden continued to impress, becoming the third Australian to score 3 or more hundreds in a Test series against India. One way or another, he managed to maintain his high performance through several seasons, hitting centuries in 3 different Tests in a row. His opening partnership with Justin Langer remains one of the most iconic in cricket history, with the pair scoring over 5,600 runs together at an average of 51.88. Hayden also proved himself a reliable slip fielder with 128 catches in his Test career. Not only did he dominate domestically and in Tests, he proved his class in ODIs. Matthew Hayden became addicted to smashing records in ODIs. In February 2007, he surprised everyone with a spectacular score of 181 against New Zealand at Seddon Park, Hamilton.
Gone for it, and it's 4. It was in the air. The man at mid-wicket was fraction square. The bowler shouldn't be too troubled by that.
This feat did set the record for having the highest Test and ODI scores for an Australian batsman. His record in ODIs remained until 2011 when Shane Watson surpassed the highest score record of 185. Today, Hayden's 181 is the second highest individual score in an ODI match that ended in a defeat, that is, a lost match, just behind Charles Coventry's 194 despite his heroic innings. The Queenslander was a linchpin for the Australian team in World Cup triumphs in 2003 and 2007. He kept his thunderous pace in the 2007 Cricket World Cup in the West Indies. He became the tournament's leading batsman, scoring 3 centuries before the Super 8 stage, a feat only previously achieved by Mark Waugh and Sourav Ganguly. One of Hayden's notable achievements was a speedy century against South Africa. He scored in just 66 balls, becoming the first player to break the previous World Cup record for the fastest 100. His energetic personality earned him honorary citizenship from the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis after his remarkable performance.
That's what Hayden thinks of the idea of coming around the wicket. That is disdain.
Even though Kevin O'Brien eclipsed his record of the fastest World Cup century in 2011, Hayden's influence in the 2007 tournament was unsurpassed. His 659 runs, the mean score of 73.22, made him the second player to score more than 600 runs in a single World Cup tournament, thus concluding the staff race. Holding on to the unbeaten Hayden, he was called the 2007 ODI Player of the Year and was included in the ICC and ESPN Cricinfo World ODI teams due to his spectacular World Cup performances. He played his last game for Australia in the second final of the 2007 to 2008 Commonwealth Bank Series, thus closing the chapter of a brilliant ODI career. After the ODI, Matthew Hayden played in 9 2020 internationals for Australia, becoming the tournament's leading run scorer after scoring 265 runs in total during the 2007 ICC World 2020.
In all, I guess you use these things to your advantage as an athlete. I mean, looking back at it, Rod Marsh, he would have had, 50, 60 players that he would have been looking at, I would have thought.
Across his T20 worst career, he totaled 308 runs at an impressive average of 51.33 before retiring from the format. His performance earned him a spot in ESPN Cricinfo's Team of the Tournament for the 2007 World Cup and a place in the World T20 Even in the Ashes series, Hayden was a force, particularly on home soil. However, his performances were more moderate when playing in England. This drop marked the beginning of the end of a remarkable career. Hayden had a meager run in the 2008 to 2009 season during the New Zealand and South Africa tours of Australia, where he didn't score more than 15 runs in 9 innings. In 2009, he took a step back from national selection and decided to retire from international cricket in a press conference at the Gabba. Even though Hayden had left the national squad, he was still a star in the Indian Premier League.
Give him a go. Oh, what a shot. That's well played. Well, that is really typical of these two openers. It's vicious stuff.
Playing a critical part for the Chennai Super Kings, he quickly became one of the top players in the league, winning the Orange Cap in 2009 for scoring the most runs that season, 572 runs in total. However, his form declined massively in his second and the beginning of his third IPL season. After a slow start in the third IPL season, Hayden bounced back with a fantastic performance, scoring 93 runs off just 43 balls. His batting was crucial for CSK, helping the team win championships in 2010 and 2011. In 2012, Hayden retired from all types of cricket and transitioned to a successful career as a television commentator, bringing the same energy and knowledge to the commentary that he had on the field. He was honored by being inducted into the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame at the Allan Border Medal ceremony in Sydney during the 2016 to 2017 season. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our next cricket insights. See you in the next video. Bye for now.